Hello, I'm Erica Ridley, and welcome to another historical romance unboxing. Today, we have an adorable package from author Collette Cameron. I love this profusion of ribbons. It's amazing. Love it. And I love the lace-themed paper, light blue, one of my favorite colors and definitely one of hers. Let's open it and see what's inside. Let's read. Chapter 1. Bristledale Court, the English countryside, late August 1822. Brette Culpepper peeked around the carved doorcase, her stomach flipping in excitement. Yes! Engrossed in the objects before him, Lord Danfield hadn't a clue he'd played straight into her and Ophelia Thurston's plans. Absolutely perfect. Jolly good fun, this. Bent at the waist, his expression one of odd concentration, the Viscount closely examined the carved jadeite and white nephrite collection displayed beneath the glass covering, just as Brette had intended. Well, more aptly, she'd hoped he couldn't resist the temptation. After she'd learned of his fascination with the foreign trinkets during supper last night, she'd broadly hinted at the vast assortment housed in Bristledale's library, a library conveniently situated on the opposite side of the manor from where dignified footmen roamed scorching rooms offering cooled champagne to overheated guests. Brows furrowed, Lord Danfield lifted his head and stared outside through the open French windows, murmuring something while grazing his fingers along his jawline. Moonlight lit the veranda beyond, and a scant summer breeze carried a fountain's lyrical burbling into the house. Even from her position by the door, Brette caught a faint whiff of jasmine. No surprise the rather bashful lord had escaped this evening's noisy throng and made his way to the figurines. Wise move on his part. He'd been spared Major Wilkinson's exuberant vocal rendition. Lowing cattle claimed more musical aptitude than the jovial officer. More than one disconcerted guest had emptied their champagne flute in a single swift pull before eagerly seizing another, as if hoping to mute the effects of the next amateur performer. If those presentations were anything like Major Wilkinson's, several more glasses of champagne might be in order before the entertainment recommenced. Utterly fascinating. Lord Danfield leaned nearer the case, paying particular attention to the more risque carvings arranged along the back row. His red-tinged ears glowed noticeably, a close match for the shot of fiery hair topping his head. To smother an undignified laugh, Brette clamped her teeth together. She, too, had blushed scarlet the first time she'd gazed upon the more scandalous statuettes. Tristan, the Marquis of Leaventhorpe, their host and her cousin-in-law, possessed several such sculptures, which Lord Danfield seemed determined to commit to memory, down to every last naughty detail. Danfield glanced toward the entrance for an instant, and Brette ducked behind the doorframe. Had he heard her? Seen her? She turned and, waving her hand, beckoned Ophelia. The sable-haired beauty hovered near a curtained window, darting anxious glances up and down the corridor's length. As arranged earlier, they left the others on the pretense of needing to visit the ladies' retiring room during the musical intermission. After seeking Mrs. Thurston's permission, of course. Ophelia's mamma had nodded distractedly, a pinched look upon her lightly powdered face. Apparently, after sitting through the Major's vigorous performance, she'd needed a few moments' reprieve to collect herself. Next time, she might consider stuffing a scrap of cloth in her ears, as Brette intended to. Thanks, Collette! Thank you for watching Historical Romance Unboxing with Erica Ridley. More information about today's featured book can be found in the text accompanying this video, as well as on my website, ericaridley.com/unboxing. To win a signed copy of today's featured book, as well as an autographed romance from my Rogues to Riches series, just leave a comment on this video within 24 hours and you're entered to win. Keep reading and see you next time!